Welcome to Message Monday. Christian men, Christian walk, Christian talk with your hosts, Tony Briscoe and Gary Dotson. We discuss faith, marriage, family, parenting, politics, and mental health, world news, and most of all, faith again. Let's go. Welcome to Message Monday. Gary, you got that look again like you feeling this track, bruh.
That track is crazy. It's crazy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think the Tube muted it too, so I got to find out what's up with that. I think they mute the intro. I'm gonna have to go back and check one of the videos, but I think I saw where it muted it out, which I kind of expect because it's sync licensing. So, but it's all good. They still get at least to see the countdown window and all that. Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know what day it is. It is Monday.
Yes, sir.
Christian man, Christian walk, Christian talk. I am your host, Tony Briscoe, and I got my main man with me,
Gary Dotson, back again.
That is my brother. Grace and peace to you all.
Yes,
we
sir.
hope you all are doing well. And man, Father, we thank you for bringing us together on this night. I thank you for my brother as we just begin to discuss life and how it comes, and some things that are going on in the known universe, because we don't know about the unknown universe. It's invisible to us for right now. But we thank you for all of those who tune in to our show and ask for your peace to guide us on tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
In Jesus' name, amen.
I know some of you deep folks out there, y'all like to say Yeshua. I do too, and that's completely fine as well. God speaks more languages than we do.
You got that right.
He speaks more languages than us, so it's all good. Hey man, how's your week, man?
Well, you know what? Had the day off today, President's Day.
Oh.
So that's why I asked you if you had to go in today. But got a few things done around the house.
Yeah.
Got caught up on a couple of things I had to do related to documents and little projects. So I'm good.
No, that's cool.
How was your day today?
Hey man, I was, when you leave a job, you think about those other days you used to get off. You don't get off no more, bruh. So I was wondering, like, it literally took me like 29 minutes to get to work today. And typically it takes me 55. So I forgot.
All those extra people off the expressways.
All those extra people off the expressways, bro. So I enjoyed my nice little cruise in. So I'm gonna have to get up and leave a little early tomorrow. Hey, Sister Tina, how you doing out there?
Good to thank the Lord for the little blessings.
Yeah, thank you for the little blessings, man. Thank you for the little blessings. I have not watched. I didn't even know it was All-Star Weekend. That's how disconnected I am.
You didn't miss anything. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I haven't watched the dunk contest since Aaron Gordon got robbed twice. Like, he got robbed twice. And I put all that blame on Dwayne Wade because he just did something that was just shady because he was in Miami. Miami. But yeah, after Aaron Gordon lost twice, though, I'm like, nah. And I hope he wasn't in the contest either, because I know he said he wasn't.
I hadn't heard. I've been hearing that the dunk contests have been so awful, so lousy because the big name. Because we grew up, the big names were in these skill contests and the dunk contests and all that stuff. So I didn't watch it. I didn't watch anything related to All-Star Weekend. So that's where I am.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? We got opinionated.com out there. That's my man Antoine. Good evening, bro.
Peace.
Yeah, man. It's for me, like I've never watched the NFL Pro Bowl because I just feel like it's just they're trash. They're not playing serious. It's like entertainment for the fans, but there's no substance to it.
Right. See, in football, I can understand that because of the nature of the sport. It's a contact sport. Yeah. So in a way, I can get it. And plus it comes at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So, but the All-Star game, we grew up watching guys like Jordan and Dominique Wilkins and Larry Bird going for blood in All-Star games. Guys, stop it.
We shoot half court jumpers and man. Now they hitting them jumpers too, but I don't know. It's like it seems like it's no challenge, man. I mean, I remember the year, and that's why I was disappointed how Isaiah and Mike's relationship kind of turned out, at least what we see displayed. We don't know what him and Mike do behind doors, but I remember when Mike got MVP that year, like I'll never forget the alley-oop that Isaiah threw him off the court, bro. I was just like, man, Isaiah, Zeke Cole. So
he was always cold.
Yeah. And so for him to be so little, man, that dude, I mean, little compared to, most of the, athletes.
Right.
And Isaiah will pull up on you and slam in your face in 2.5 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
and I
sir.
think that's interesting of what becomes when these cats get older and they start talking and, all this other stuff. Like they were like, yeah, he put up 66 points, but he didn't beat us. I'm like, still, he put up 66 points while I was beating him. Like this, like let's Robert Parrish, like let's keep this 100, bro.
Right.
Who put up 66 points? Yeah, they lost, but just all this talk from this younger basketball generation. I was listening to Gilbert Arenas as he was talking about
man.
and Scottie Pippen said about, before he got to the Bulls, they weren't winning games.
When he got there, they weren't winning games.
Yeah.
You and I, we grew up during that time. We saw, even with Scottie Pippen,
the
Bulls were not beating the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics. They ran the conference during that time.
Yeah, and he had migraines. Like, dude, and I get migraines, so I understand. Like, migraines are no joke, but it's just like so much being done to take credit away from Jordan. Mike attests to Phil teaching him to change the game. Like, hey, bro, we hit a win now.
That's right.
And he had to adjust to that, put the ball in other team members' hands, right? But you also saw Scotty when Mike was gone and they gave Tony Kukoc the ball. Would he kick a chair, sit out on the bench? Like
Scottie Pippen was up until that point. He was my second favorite Bull. My favorite Bull of all time, surprisingly, is Horace Grant. My second favorite Bull up until that point.
We ain't gonna even talk about that, man.
I got you. But Scotty, but when he refused to go in, and then the play worked.
Yeah,
it's not like it blew up, but it worked.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I think that's just the emotion of the game, bro, though. You know what I'm saying? Like we saw what happened when Kelsey, went into Reed's face, bro. Like it's the nature of the game, right?
That's right.
People like to make a big deal out of athletes when they go bonkers, right? Mm-hmm. Like I think it was either college basketball. I don't think it was WNBA. I think it was a college basketball girls team fight a couple of weeks. Oh my God, this was brutal. This is embarrassing. This is crazy. Y'all will sit there and cheer another hockey player stumping a dude's head in the ground. But when it comes to basketball or somebody getting into it, and you look at how Jermaine O'Neal's life changed, and a lot of them cats back in the day in Indiana when that big brawl happened.
Malice at the Palace.
Yeah, Malice at the Palace. And I mean, fans got to stay in their lane. Like you talking about folks' kids, you calling them names. Nobody gonna put up with all that stuff. Like,
and then throwing beverages and throwing other objects at no.
Hey, no. When you're dealing with folks who got adrenaline rushes like that, you got to be real cautious.
That's right.
How you engage people and how you choose to speak to people.
That's
what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
Be careful. Sister Tina said the game hasn't been exciting since being courtside watching the greatest NBA players since they have had grown. Tiny shorts. Them shorts tiny.
Maybe that's why they were playing so hard to get out them shorts.
Get out them shorts quick, right? Let's get this over with. But we thank y'all for tuning in to the show, fam. I want to talk about movies that had an impact on us.
Ooh.
Movies that shifted the culture.
Yes, sir.
And this is ad lib, y'all. But
you talking about culture in general, or
the
microcosm of okay, all
culture in general. But I saw The Beekeeper. Mm-hmm. Jason Statham.
What'd you think?
I was disappointed.
What's going on in it?
I'm gonna tell you why I was disappointed. I was disappointed because I thought it had so much potential. Like when I say the first 7 to 10 minutes of that movie had me locked in. Felicia Rashad was in it. Of course, they're still killing black people first in the movies, but I ain't gonna deal with them. I'm gonna leave that alone. But Larita was like, "Are you okay?" Like, I was impacted. The reason I was impacted is because you have Felicia Rashad, who works from home. You don't really get to see the relationship between her and the beekeeper, and how he, got to her place and all that. You don't see all that. You can just
Okay.
assume that maybe he was injured once upon a time, and she let him stay there.
Okay.
He's a beekeeper, but beekeeper also means something in the special intelligence scene. I don't know if that's true in real life, but
Well, wait a minute, backtrack.
yeah.
What's the basic premise of the movie?
The premise, that's the thing. My thought was they were going after cyber criminals to bring justice to the people who have been robbed by cyber criminals. And it turned into just one big movie of vengeance.
So like a Charles Bronson, or John Wick, he just going after everybody.
Yeah. Pretty much, yes. There was no, and the reason it impacted me is because our senior citizens go through these things in real life, where they're scam artists, right? And there are a lot of other countries, they do 100 times more than the US does to protect their elderly, bro.
Wow.
But none of them get it right. Hardly. So in this movie, and if you want to see it, turn it off. If you want to see it, just mute the podcast for like 2 minutes.
Spoiler
alert. Felicia Rashad, she's on her computer, and she gets this alert. So she picks up the phone and she calls the number of the alert. Now you actually get put inside of a call center where you get to see what actually happened. We've seen them. We know that Nigeria is one of the places that has these, but we also know that India is big for this.
Yes, sir.
I'm just calling it what it is. I watch YouTube. There's a guy out there who hacks into these criminal organizations while they're in India. Tell them exactly. He hacks cameras, everything, bro. Everything. So he's telling these scammers their real names, and they looking around trying to be like, how this dude? So you get taken into a real, actual, well, not real, but in the movie,
I got you,
call center where you got this dude who's telling everybody how to get it done. They're coaching people how to get it done. So when they get this call, and so she's putting passwords in, they access her computer. They have her download this little desktop shadowing tool, which is actually a remote access tool. It's called a rat, right? That's what it's called in real life in the cyberspaces. It's called a rat. Empties out all the accounts she has access to. So she's managing a not-for-profit. It had $2 million, but all of her accounts are emptied out.
Man.
Now, while this is happening, the beekeeper had already come over, like, hey, thank you for thank you for taking care of me, right? She's like, hey, come back for dinner tonight. So when he comes back for dinner, he notices her door is open. The stove is on. Then he sees blood. Then he sees a gun on the floor, right? So she actually takes her own life because she got drained of everything. And so instead of really setting a premise for this movie where how do we protect our seniors and how do we get people's money that was stolen back,
it's just him. He goes after whoever did it, and for the rest of the movie.
And he does not stop. This goes way up to the woman who's playing the president. He does not stop.
Man, well, I got bad news for you.
What's up?
When you said Jason Statham,
yeah,
that's the dead giveaway. Guys with Jason Statham, The Rock, Charles Bronson, Clint Eastwood, guys like that, you know what it's going to be about.
But for me, it hurt me because I know, when my mother-in-law almost got by this, bro. And this is when I told you, like, I went in on my mother-in-law. Then I was like, oh man, I just going on my mother-in-law. I'm gonna get it. I'm in trouble. But it was like our seniors get hit all the time, man. We've had people who showed up in fake com ed. Oh, we got to cut your gas off.
Right. Let me in or pay this and then it'll go away. Right.
Yeah. And so, again, I knew what I was getting into. I thought I had high hopes for something different, and it didn't happen. But what's with the older? Now we got to talk about something, bro.
Come on.
What's with the older cats?
What do you mean?
I just watched the movie with Pierce. I have never heard Pierce Bronson. I didn't even hear Pierce Bronson. I didn't even
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, I didn't hear this dude cuss in any James Bond movie. This dude is in a movie, man. It came out last year. He's like a hitman, bro.
Really?
It was the craziest thing. And so we talk about that. And then we got my man Denzel in Equalizer 3. Man, Equalizer 3 was a little bit extra, bro.
Man.
It was brutally extra. I was like, man.
You got blood on you?
Right. It's like, man, it's Denzel. Cut it out, man. What you doing?
I didn't see any Equalizer movies.
Yeah,
I didn't see any of them.
I mean, yeah. Denzel kind of bring the truth, man. He but this one 3, for me, it reminded me of me worried about Heath Ledger after I saw where he played the Joker. I was like, I don't know if you can come back from this role, though. Mm-hmm. And then what happened to him?
Yeah.
Dude, watching Equalizer 3, bro, I'm like, Lord, put your hands around Denzel, because I don't know if he's gonna recover from this one.
Wow.
Because I mean, it's his acting is good, but the darkness of his level of it was gruesome, bro. Now, granted, after watching it the fourth time, I concluded it was definitely gruesome. But it was just really shocking to me. It was really shocking to me. So that that's it, man. But our senior citizens, like, please, y'all, I need y'all to walk y'all parents. If your parents are still with you, not to offend if parents are lost, but you've got an aunt, uncle, any senior citizen in your life, I really need you to be extra intentional to help them avoid scams. Really intentional. To never call a number that pops up on their computer screen.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
You got to share this with them. And if you're dealing with a family member who is suffering from early onset dementia or Alzheimer's, never keep them offline. Do not, I'm being serious, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Because the level of impact that this has on them, it can be detrimental to the entire family.
Right.
And if they get the wrong people, well, they're always the wrong people on the other end of that phone line. But I really need you all to be intentional about protecting not just your children, but really you've got two demographics of people that are highly volatile to cybersecurity attacks. Those are the seniors and those are young people. Now, all of us can get it. You know,
absolutely.
Every times I've hit a link and I've had to, I took my computer offline so fast, I pulled plugs, turned the wireless off, shut it down. And there have been times I wiped the whole thing off GP.
Yeah.
Before anything take place. You gotta move quick with these folks.
Yes, sir.
Please. The scams that are out there, and I'm pulling this information from social-engineer.org. It's talking about protecting the elderly from scammers. And this came out in June 22nd, 2001.
What's that website again?
Social-engineer.org.
Good.
Social-engineer.org. And even Amazon has free home cybersecurity training to make your family familiar with the different tactics out there. So Google that, but really be intentional in protecting your family from just these cyber threats. In case you all don't know, Lurie Hospital was attacked 2 weeks ago. They're still not fully restored.
Really? Cyber attacked?
Absolutely, brother. It's been one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest attacks of 2024. This year alone, as of a week and a half ago, 26 billion records have been leaked across.
What?
26 billion, and it's only February, bro. 26 billion. That's how serious these threats are.
Man, you think about the sensitive information, the financial information, the medical information. Ooh,
it's serious. Data is the new currency.
Yes,
and
sir.
The younger you can get data, for young people, the better off you'll be. Imagine turning 18 and you go to get a student loan and they like, you already 72,000 in the hole. And you like, I just got out of high school. What are you talking about?
Right.
You know, we know some parents used to put their kids, and that was a cyber threat then. We didn't really know what it was. It was social engineering. Parents putting bills in their kids' names.
Yeah. People still doing that though.
Oh, wow.
People still doing that.
Wow. Yeah, it's illegal. That's the start of cybersecurity threats right there at home. Right? So the average adversary, we call them APTs in some regard, advanced persistent threats. That means somebody's constantly coming at your organization. The average threat, somebody has been sitting in your system from 6 to 12 months before you even find them.
Whoa.
When you find them, that's when alerts trigger. Right? I didn't flip to a whole IT conversation, y'all.
That's all right, man.
But this is super serious. So you think about senior citizens who may be desperate in life, and you get a random call on the phone that says, hey, we've got a special for senior citizens that can help you offset some of your mortgage where you can get a loan back from it so you can have some cash on hand just so you can use. If you're interested, please call this number, 1-800, give me your life. And that's not what it's going to be called, right?
But that's really what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I know people, young people who've been scammed looking for a quick dollar.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Because you're obviously the expert in this. But let me ask you this to see how feasible you think this is.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that our world and everything that we do in it, it's highly technological. It's highly digitized. I mean, businesses and restaurants and establishments and even whole governments and some national governments, they're moving away from cash altogether. Central bank digital currency is on the horizon. What do you think about someone detaching completely from from this new age of enveloping society of technology? Like, what do you think about that? Detaching completely.
Bro, I told you, if not for this show, I would scrub every social media profile that I have.
But I'm not talking about social media.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about, to the best of your ability, completely breaking. Right.
What do they call it, Gary? They call it something. Living off
off grid.
Going off grid. I mean, there are people who do it now. You hit them mountains down south, bro. Hit some of them mountains.
So just by your response, so you think that's impossible to do that in a city environment, in an urban environment?
I think it's absolutely impossible to do in an urban environment. You're gonna get to a point you can't even travel on CTA, Metro, or a rail card without a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
When I was hopping on Metro going to work, boop, on my cell phone. Getting downtown, going to hit the blue line, boop, cell phone, just tapping it.
Mm-hmm.
Just
it's interesting you should say that, because Alana's basketball games, it's no physical money.
Nope.
You got to use your phone.
Yep.
You buy your ticket online and and they scan the QR code, and that's how you get in.
When we
went to a basketball game.
When we went to the LL concert, the dude was like, no, we don't, they stopped taking cash for parking because of theft.
Well, that's one aspect where it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But that's what they're doing across the board. You have some stores who don't even take cash.
Right.
Cashless transactions only. Right? You got, you still got like the places like Italian Fiesta and them who they do cash only. Cash is a fading thing of the past. Right? Everything is going to take place through digital means. I don't care if they putting scanners in your hand, doing retina recognition. Eventually we're gonna see a time where it's like walking around with Tom Cruise in Minority Report, where everywhere you went, you
absolutely,
all these other different things, man. In 2019 alone, romance scams, 84 million U.S. seniors, $84 million in romance scams.
Wait, let's rewind. I never even heard of a romance scam. What in the world is that?
Are you serious?
I don't know what a romance scam is.
A romance scam is senior citizens. They get, and it's not just senior citizens. We talking about people can be in their 50s, 60s. What was the movie on Netflix? Oh my goodness. The Tinder Swindler.
Never heard of it.
Bruh. Some of the deepest stuff you ever see in your life. Real life story of a dude who was from Israel, who was swindling women out of their money, faking like.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah,
I got you. I got you.
Yeah. You know?
I got you.
Yeah.
Man.
Couldn't touch him. $300,000 he got these women for, man. So there are people out there for romance scams. It's serious. So you got a lonely senior citizen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, now we're not going to talk about now all of these European women who are going to predominantly black and brown countries, sleeping with all these, like, it's a brothel. They go overseas to sleep with black men. We ain't gonna get into that. I want to stay focused tonight. I'm gonna stay on my assignment tonight and just deal with, please talk to your elders about these things. If that means you have to get some type of power of attorney that goes into action at the minute dementia or Alzheimer's set in, talk to your family members. These are things that have to be done and in place to protect them. So on this site, they give you a lot of sources. Take steps to protect yourself and your family. Realize that your loved one is a potential target. Remember, there is fear and shame when scammed, so be empathetic. Don't be calling nobody crazy. Don't be talking crazy to nobody like I did my mother-in-law. I love you, mother-in-law. Mother Wells, if you listen, come save me from my mother-in-law. Involve trusted family members in money management jobs. Engage multiple family members to reduce the potential for a single point of failure. A single point of failure is like a one-stop shop. If you a one-car family and you got to get kids to 2 different schools, if that car goes down, that's called a single point of failure, right? You got to have multiple means of getting things done. Keep up to date on local scams. Keep your loved one feeling empowered. Eliminate as many calls and as much junk mail as possible. Consider signing your loved ones up for the National Do Not Call Registry. I don't even think I heard of this bad fella.
I never even heard of that.
I ain't never heard of this one.
National
Do Not Call.gov.
Do Not Call.gov.
Do Not Call.gov.
Man.
So just wanted to, I know I went on kind of like a tangent, but I mean,
no, that's all right. Good information.
I'm very, very passionate about, man. I'm a cybersecurity ambassador. I've only been in this field for about 3.5 years. I'm learning a lot. I'm continuing to apply my skill set at my job, at my work, and at home. You know, when I started in cybersecurity, I'm one of them cats. I hadn't changed. I used to do it, but I got lazy. I hadn't changed the password on my hardware. You know, I get the little something like that. I never logged into that device that they put down and changed the password and all that stuff. I started doing all that stuff, man.
I got old pass. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say this on the air.
Yeah, please don't. But what I'm telling y'all is,
yes, sir.
If you have internet at home at your house, and you're still using the default password that came with it, change all of that stuff. Log in and change it. Use at least 16 characters if you can. I know that may be hard to remember. Write it down in a safe, secure place that nobody can walk into your house and find. If you have an option to turn on a guest network, don't let nobody come to your house and get on your network unless you absolutely 100% trust them.
Wait, what's a guest network? I mean, obviously, it sounds like it sounds obvious, but
you have some modems that you can set up a guest network on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep. You can set up a guest network. And if you got the, you know, depending on the organization, you get it like a Comcast or something, you can set up with that. You can block out any access that you don't want. You don't want nobody going to porn sites while they're on your network for a little while. You can set up, you can block XXX sites. You can block a whole lot with that guest network. You know, you just don't want people on your home network. I came in and we had a lot of family members over. My Xfinity started jumping off, and I'm like, I said, how these folks? I started kicking people off my network, man, and blocking them.
Sir.
Hey, I can't get online. What happened? Oh, that was you. Oh, my bad. Don't be giving out the password now.
That's right. That's right. Wow.
It's things like that you want to be mindful of. So that's my cybersecurity talk, y'all, for the moment. Thank y'all for tolerating me, but I'm big on making
That's
sure
good
our
stuff.
seniors stay protected.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff, Tone.
So that website again, do not call.gov, to be on the national do not call registry. And I'm telling you, I don't think I remember hearing about that. I can't recall, but we know about it now, so we can take action on it.
That's good.
So, I'm going to bring up a controversial TV series because I think it glorified prison. I'd always seen like parts of Oz. Oz was one of those shows that I think glorified prison.
It was very critically acclaimed. I never watched it, but people used to talk about it all the time.
It glorified rape.
Mm.
Tina says, what if you're already on the no call, do not call list? Yeah, scammers don't care what the call list you on. Scammers gonna scam. So, you're not gonna be able to avoid everybody. Scammers gonna scam. So just do what you can to register for it if you're already on it, and then just continue. Like if somebody wants to get a hold of you, okay, I'm gonna back up real quick. There are certain things that should never happen. Anybody who claims to be a family member, they may have an email that looks exactly like that person. I almost got scammed like this once because there's a person who takes care of my daughter. And so when she does anything she needs, she's going to get. So they do this thing called scarcity. It's a social engineering attack. Hey, I'm at a place. I need to get this Amazon card, but my credit card is acting funny. Can you send me a credit card? Or can you send me an Amazon gift card for $50 or $200 or $500? Right? So now I'm all on Larita's case about paying attention. I almost got by not paying attention because one, it was urgent.
Right.
And two, it was somebody that looks out for my child, or so I thought. So I just said, let me call them first. So I picked up the phone. She said, absolutely do not. That is not me. So I helped her get into her account. What happens is they kind of shadow her account. Well, what they do is they put a forwarding email in. So let's say I would have gave her that $200 gift card on Amazon that she wanted to send it to her. Because they had already had access to her email account. That email would have forwarded straight to the forwarded email. So they had her original email because they were able to get into it. If you got a weak password, they're going to come for you. Right? This is why it's important to set up things like two-factor authentication, where you sign in, then you get a message that says, hey,
are you trying to sign in? Yeah.
Send a text message to your phone, put that code in. Right? So if I would have sent that $200 thinking I'm sending it to her, and I went in to her account and I showed her, I said, you see this? This is how they get you. Because she was like, I don't have any emails. They routed all her emails to her deleted folder.
Man.
So even her inbox messages were coming in, going straight to being forwarded to the other email that they created. So when you think, oh yeah, I sent you that $200 you asked for, like, I didn't send no $200. Well, check your email. Yes, you did. No, that wasn't me. But and they're going in to look. They don't see anything because
they don't see
it's already forwarded out. And all of your stuff is going straight to your deleted items, so you wouldn't even see it. So I showed her, I said, this is where they forwarded your message. If I was you, I would never use this account again.
Right.
But I wanted her to see how they get into systems and manipulate it and set up what they call a POP3 address, where they're just forwarding things over to a separate email account.
Man, and that's scary out here, boy.
By the time you find out, guess what? It's too late. That card money that you sent them, they've already pulled that money off of that card quickly. And always have a safe word with your immediate family. Yes. So these are just tricks to the trades and things to teach. Like, I'm gonna talk to brother, one of the brothers at church, because he's doing a social media thing right now. It's like, hey, while you doing that social media thing, I'm a fade. Let me come in one night to
Yes, sir.
let these folks know what they need to be aware of in times like this. It's serious out here, man. And then when you cipher somebody's money from them, they ain't got no hope.
Mm.
I ain't got nothing to live for. I got nothing to live for. I done lost everything. And that's what Felicia Rashad did in that movie. And that's why the movie impacted me. And that's why it would have been nice to see some restoration. But you're right. As soon as I saw the name, I should have, but it was just like, I think it had potential to be better than what it was.
Right.
And I think that's the thing, because you can blow up a building. Ain't no money sitting in these buildings, bro. you ain't really did nothing. You ain't did nothing at all.
Right.
Nobody got anything restored. So, that's what I'm thinking about. But Oz, I want to get back to these movies.
Yeah, let's get back to that.
And I don't want to spend too much time on it, because I do want to get to 2 Timothy 4 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to get to Itching Ears.
Mm-hmm.
But Oz was one of those movies that really glorified raping men.
Mm.
Now we know these things already exist in prison. I just talked a few weeks ago about a person who was misidentified by artificial intelligence, was arrested, and was raped by 3 men in prison. So we know it exists. But I think it made it so much more acceptable for prison life.
Let me ask you this, though.
Go ahead.
Concerning the show Oz, I never saw it.
Yeah.
Was the show popular because it glorified that, or the rape was just an aspect in the overall story about prison?
It was just an aspect in the story of prison. That wasn't it. I can't say it wasn't
but they weren't discreet, though. They weren't discreet.
Not in some regards they were, in some regards they weren't. Like it just, it was like that. You know what I'm saying? It was, at the end of the day, it was all about power. It was all about power behind bars and who calls what shots.
So did it follow like main characters, or it was just in general about prison?
No, main characters, man. It had main characters. My man from SVU was on there. Stabler. Stabler was in there. Ida Beasy was his name. I can't think of what shows this brother's been on. Black actor. But when I think about it, when Oz happened, then we begin to see these other shows go behind prison and popularize male rape, broadcasting it on national TV. Life Behind Bars. That's when they introduced the dude whose name was the Booty Bandit. They interviewed this dude. They gave this dude so much airtime. I'm gonna get the booty, whether I take it or whether you give it. I'm gonna get it, right? It just became this glorification.
Yeah.
Of life behind bars, where young men were just going in. And it talks about the culture. Man, my mom told me she had more access to drugs in prison than she did on the street.
Listen, man, nobody goes to prison and gets rehabilitated unless you do it yourself.
Facts.
Prison is not for rehabilitation. It's not for penance. Hence, penitentiary is not for that. It was this one movie called old movie called Blow. And he said he went in with a master's degree in criminality, and he left with a doctorate degree.
Wow.
Something to that effect. Yeah.
I think, and I never saw this series, but it was another riveting series. And let me know if you have anything. The Wire.
I never saw The Wire. I've heard of it.
He told me, was like, you ain't seen The Wire, man. You crazy. I never saw
I must be crazy then.
But I remember them talking about this one scene where you just got this regular guy. He said he got a podcast now. Lord have mercy, Eddie. Are you serious? Well, I guess he found a way to capitalize on his misery. So,
Right.
you know,
Somebody will listen. Somebody will listen.
listen. Yeah. Um, there's a guy, they're doing this scene where somebody just got hit with a shotgun. And this regular random guy's walking by on the streets. And he was just like, hey man, that ain't how it look. And they brought this dude on as a consultant. Just a random dude on the street
Really?
to guide them through how it would look. So you got all these shows, man, that is so many of them. Like I've never seen Power. I've never seen Raising Kanan. There's some shows I've just never seen. One is because I'm just older at a different maturity level in some regard. Not in every regard. I just told you I watch Equalizer 3. So in some regard, but when I see now, as I get older, I look at things with a different lens. And now that I'm older, when I see Raising Canaans on the street,
yeah,
my neighbor,
his home, yeah, his
neighbor
home
got beaten, almost carjacked about 3 weeks ago. You know, knocked on my door trying to use the phone. He's got, you know, he's covering up something here, but he can't cover up how he got popped in the right above his nose, right? And so when we start seeing TV and reality merge like this in such a graphic way, I know crime has always been around, right? We had crime, we were coming up, every generation has dealt with it, but I think now it's so brazen now. It's so blatant now.
Well, you know what the entertainment is showing is that it's showing that it's reflecting what's in society.
Yes.
It's a mirror. So art imitates culture.
Yes.
And the art gives the culture what its appetite craves for. So the shows are getting more brutal. The movies are getting more explicit. Everything is getting more and more base, more and more brutal. But that's what the art is giving it. And that's the art is feeding that in the culture.
Eddie, man, slow down, Eddie. He said criminality is an actual market in the Black community. And that's my thing for the powers that be. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers right now. I wish I could pull up a video from White Mike. He's a pastor who grew up in urban ministry. That's what they used to call him, White Mike. Made his parents mad. He was like, "No, the Lord is calling me to ministry. I'm leaving all this stuff."
Sir.
Why is it acceptable to have Black folks killing Black folks in droves across all media aspects? Music, movies, cartoons. Why is that all acceptable?
It's not acceptable. It may be tolerated. It's not acceptable because we don't accept it. Therefore, it's not acceptable. But I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. You know, and I'm gonna find the clip because he talked about, okay, so can we do a radio song talking about raping women? And he said the radio station was like, absolutely not. Okay, can we do a radio show about, you know, killing all white people? No, that wouldn't be acceptable at all. So why is it acceptable for your radio station to continue to play music about Blacks killing Blacks? Well, that's what the people want to hear. What people? Opinionated.com. Sadly, we have embraced being criminals and made it a part of Black manhood. That's
in some sectors, that's true. In some sectors, that's true.
That's a weighted statement, right?
Yeah.
But there's also part of that statement is, you know, and you know, I ain't gonna give my family members business or not, but I mean, I got some G's in the fam. You know, I've lived in 3 drug houses. Like I've had some G's in the fam. But for me, it was like, no, you keep your head in the books. You keep studying. Anybody who messed with me on the street, my brothers didn't play. Kenny B and Big Rod, they didn't play. Don't say nothing to Loco. Don't touch Loco. Don't speak to Loco. If you do, we come in with an army. And they come with armies, bro.
You know what? I don't know if you were intending to do this, but you gave the only answer that's able to protect us from that criminality that's being pushed on us.
Go for it.
It's family, bro. Family is the only thing that can protect any child from being absorbed by the street, from being pulled aside by gangs, by dope, by anything. I'm living proof of it.
Yeah.
So when we talk about these movies that are glorifying black on black crime and all the worst things that can come out of a human heart, listen, the family is the only thing that's able to keep that from happening. The reason why there's such a big appetite for it is because, hey, man, you got parents listening to this stuff, and it just filters down to the children, and the children, they're new customers. I'm an 8th grade teacher.
Yes, sir.
And the songs that these 8th graders, 7th graders, 6th graders sing, because this stuff is being played in the car with them when they drop them off at school. When we outside on outside duty, we hear it, man.
Bro, I had to help a woman and her baby to the car. She opened the door. And the weed was so strong, it latched into my clothes.
That's us every day, bro.
Eddie says we took Shaft from having a private detective, being a private detective, to Superfly and the Mac. Yeah, and this is the thing that cracks me up, Eddie, about certain folks when they say, "Oh, I told them, no actor should put on a dress. Men should not be wearing dress." So you mock another actor for wearing a dress, but you playing a drug dealer and a pimp like that's any better for a man to be. And that's what opinionated.com is talking about when he talks about we've made it a part of black manhood, where you're less of an actor for putting on a dress, but you more of one for playing a pimp.
And you know something else too, that whole the Mac and Superfly, and all of that comes from, and you can attest to this, from blaxploitation. We remember blaxploitation in the 70s, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen accidentally. That came right on the heels of our leaders being assassinated in the late 1960s. And so to prevent that movement from continuing or getting a second breath or getting a second wind, we were presented with a new type of hero. This big black man, and like white women, and the white women like him, and he peddles dope in the community, drives a big black Cadillac, and has no respect for anybody. Listen, that stuff was intentionally presented to us.
Again, and you have to go back to, and I ain't got Kanye money, so I ain't calling out nobody. but I'm gonna say, Denzel said something. Denzel, I wish I could find this clip too. Denzel talked about somebody wanted him to do this movie about the end.
I saw that clip.
You saw the clip?
I saw that clip.
And he's talking about this particular group of people he's in front of, who happen to be of, y'all know the word, the J word, descent.
The small hats.
Yeah, however you want to call it. And they were laughing about it. And Denzel was like, yeah, how about we do a movie about, a certain group of people being taken and pouring acid on and killed? Oh, that's not funny. So you see what, like that's the power structure that Kanye is talking about. That is in place. And when I heard my man on the Breakfast Club say, I got to feed my family.
Leor Cohen.
I got to feed my family at the deprecation of somebody else's race and culture. You got to feed your family. While you putting them in private school and we going into schools that's got 15-year-old textbooks.
Or older.
So this is the thing I'm talking about, man. This is the thing where, and we've got too much power in this day and age to use that as an excuse. My man Stato out there, what's up, E? He said, thank you. It starts with family, it ends with family. Yeah, we didn't play, man. If E ever called me when he was like, hey, man, your godson acting up, we on the move, bro.
Yes, sir.
We're on the move.
Yes, sir.
Sister Ashley, what's happening? We're on the move. Eddie says most people never remember a hero is nothing but a sandwich. The Marva Collins
story. Yeah, with James Earl Jones. Yes, sir.
Wow. That's an old school one. I remember watching that.
Yep.
Years ago, I did a show on the Erudition Network on the history of Black film. It is only 10 minutes, but tells you why it happened. Yeah, I remember. I remember DMC from Run DMC. He talked about guys who went to college because he put in a rap.
Don't get us started on how they stole our hip hop.
Yeah,
don't get us started on that.
He put it in a rap. He said he had cats coming up to him, was like, DMC, man, because he went to St. John's, I believe. He was like, man, I went to college because you put it in a rap, man. I knew it was something possible for my life. But again,
that's right.
This is the transformed, this is the manipulated and the restructured Oklahoma massacre. Well, I can't massacre anymore. Although in 1976, the U.S. military did do some damage in Philadelphia. The Army,
yes, sir.
We got some data out there, y'all. So
bombing out whole buildings.
We know the chemical attack in Philadelphia, man. Like these folks is ruthless, man.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
We know what's out there. We know what's impacting us, and of course, this is kind of short. I do want to talk about some church business because this is Christian Men, Christian Walk, Christian Talk, where the sisters are always welcome. I had a young person come to me, and I'm not going to mention the particular young pastor who's very popular. Right. She had questions and concerns about. But she just said, what's happening with the church, Brother Tony? And she meant the church, not a church. She meant the church. E. Dewey Smith. This is what he says about the African-American church. And he didn't say all, he just said some.
Speaking generally.
Generally. Quote, we are too lenient and we are too liberal in our assignment of credentials on individuals.
Facts.
Sometimes what we've done is base it on a socio-economic contribution. Sometimes the people who contribute the most qualify for leadership the most, regardless of whether there has been preparation or not. In some settings, it's easier to get a minister's license than a driver's license. I have no problems with what he said.
Me neither. Absolutely not. No problems.
I have seen these famous people lay hands on folks.
Yes, sir.
Right. And that's what E. Dewey Smith talked about. You lost your camera, Gary. That's what he talked about. Whatever you just hit, cut your camera off. He talks about this popularity. My man Geronimo spit in one of his pieces. Geronimo said, I'm quoting him, just because you bring the church profit, it doesn't make you the church prophet.
You got that right.
Now that's a strong play on words, right? That's a strong play on words. But I wanted to at least acknowledge that 2 Timothy 4:3, the time will come when men will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to say
exactly where we are.
I'm going to say this. Mike Todd is heavily criticized. I'm just going to call that out. Mike Todd is heavily criticized. I want folks to be clear. I'm not judging Mike Todd. I don't know Mike Todd. But he's being criticized because of his antics on the pulpit that some don't believe is a pulpit. They believe it's a performance stage of orchestration that's got nothing to do with the message of the gospel. Now, I don't go to Mike Todd's church because I also understand that what's presented in the media is not always what's representative of what's actually happening inside of the church. I want to make that clear as well. But when I have young people reaching out to me saying, "Hey, what is this? What is this? What is this?" I have a hard time explaining it to them. And I said, "Well, what does the word say?"
Mhm.
So I want you to go dig into the scriptures. Then you
Mhm.
come back and tell me what you see. Tell me what you find. Well, where do I need to start? You can start in Ephesians. You can start in
Mhm.
Matthew. You can start in Luke. You can start in John. you can start in you can pick up almost every text in the New Testament, and you will get a word based on what you're asking me and what you're actually witnessing and what God is trying to tell you to be careful of.
You know what else too, Tone?
Go for it.
Even simpler than that. And I'll go back to the first part of your statement. I don't think Mike Todd is being criticized for his antics. I think he's being criticized because his delivery is being shown for having no substance. It's not just the antics,
Mhm.
but if you're a pastor, a minister, or evangelist in any way, your number one job is to get your hearers in some way closer to Christ.
Yeah.
Whatever, however way you get them there, it has to align with the scriptures, of course. But at the end of the day, you have to get these people closer to Christ. So if you have your quote unquote antics, if your skit or illustrated sermon or whatever it is that you use, if it does not get people closer to Christ, not feeling good, not, ooh, that was deep.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, that makes me feel good. If it does not if it does not make people look at their sin, if it does not make people repent, if it does not make people understand that they need more of Christ, the Christ that is presented in the Bible, it's it's a it's a falsehood. It's a false presentation of what the gospel is.
Yeah.
Period. In the discussion.
Yeah. In real oh, Eddie says in real talk, he is participating in foolery without substance.
That's right.
Yeah. And again, like, again, I watched a one-on-one podcast with Mike Todd. I thought it gave a good understanding of him, his upbringing, and his background. But again, I think when young people are asking, I have to share, but my sharing with them is for them to get in the word. And and I'm asking for prayer for me. Um, and I'm asking for prayer for me because I'm at a place in my life where I just want to really be in the word every day. Got a career, all that stuff. But I just think the Lord is calling an army of real
Yes.
apologists to defend the faith.
Yeah.
And I'll be thinking of some creative ways to do that as well. But I have no shame in asking folks for prayer because, when you start feeling these things, they will not go away.
That's right.
They will not go away. Christianity is under attack, and I'm not talking about those who have made it come under attack. I'm just talking about the bigger part of the enemy, the bigger part
Mhm.
of Satan to crush the faith. And I think he's using, I'm just going to call it what it is. White evangelicals in America have shot the gospel to hell, period.
I disagree.
Uh,
You know why?
let me say it like this,
Go
Gary.
ahead.
In the essence of the perception of the evangelical or the Christian support, and it's a lot of black Christians out there too, throwing a lot of weight and support behind Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And who you vote for is who you vote for. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even go as far as to call Trump a racist. I think racists have to be tactical, smart, intelligent. And I don't put him in that category. I think he's a dude who just comes in, tells it like it is, but that's not substance either.
Right.
Because that's what I hear. That's what I hear from black men who vote for him. Oh, he's speaking like it is, bro. That's all you got? You please tell me you got something better than that. Talk to me about business plans. Talk to me about The
Yes,
tax
sir.
breaks. Talk to me about something bigger. Talk to me about immigration policies that his entire administration had 4 years to do and made no moves on. Like, talk to me about something substance. Don't talk to me about nobody shooting it like it is. Your mama shooting it like it is. You ain't listen to her.
Well said.
But go ahead, please.
You know, I disagree, not because that was a bad statement, but I disagree because there's something much more serious. Because if you look at this country, our experience and our setting the standard for religious piety, religious fidelity, it's undeniable. Now, I'm not discounting Charles Wesley and the tradition of the Wesleyans. I'm not discounting any non-black minister that did it the biblical way. But as we move into certainly post-slavery through Reconstruction up until recent years, it's been the Black church that has set the standard for religious piety.
100.
So when you said that it's been the white evangelicals, man, that's them over there. What I see right now,
yeah,
I see us letting these black ministers, and I'm just gonna get black out of there. We're letting these ministers preach outright heresy. Black, white. Right. We know about Copeland. We know about Duplantis. We know about Furtick. We know about them. But now we got this other group that's on the horizon. We got guys that used to be generals. I'm not going to mention a name, but he let a cross-dresser lay hands on him in his own church.
Wow.
So look.
Wow.
Which used to be the standard. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, fam, and as usual, when the conversation gets good, it's time to go. My producer elect, she told me I got to stick to 45 minutes and be out. So we're a little bit over that, but I thank y'all all for tuning in. We'll be back next week, fam. If something y'all want to talk about or hear about, hey, I didn't do a Black History fact this week, but guess what? You are Black history. You get to make history every day in your hometown.
Well said.
In your home, you get to make history every day. That's what my wife told the young people. She's been teaching them Black history at church. She's been doing 20 minutes every Sunday with them, teaching them about African-American history. And she's doing an absolute phenomenal job with that. You're Black history every day. And guess what? If you watching this podcast and you white, you're Black history too.
Well said.
Because you get to change the dynamic of everybody around you when they're giving racist jokes and you don't find it funny. You get to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
You get to say something. You get to make a statement that will not be tolerated around you and in your presence, and lay out the reasons why. Because without us, there would be no America.
Facts.
Period. Fam, y'all have a wonderful, blessed week. I do have another podcast to hop on. I'll wait to hear from my sister Tina Phillips when she kicks that off. Until then, y'all have an amazing week. Cousin Fred, what's up, cuz?
What's going on, brother Fred?
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. Eddie says 3 books: The History of the Negro, The Religious Instruction of the Negro Church. I think he's got one more out there that he wants to mention. And Eddie, my wife started reading again The Soul of Black Folks, bruh. Wanted you to know that. I set it up on the Kindle for her, so she's already in it, man. Other than that, fam, may the peace of God, which passes all understanding, guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This is Message Monday with Tony Briscoe and Gary Dotson, Christian Men, Christian Walk, Christian Talk, where the sisters are always
welcome.
We out of here. Welcome to Message Monday. Christian Men, Christian Walk, Christian Talk, with your hosts, Tony Briscoe and Gary Dotson. We discuss faith, marriage, family, parenting, politics, and mental health.
world news, and most of all, faith again. Let's go. Welcome to Message Monday.